Hi Flosstube, my name is Rosbelle, but you can call me Emily or Ross, whichever you prefer, and whatever would be easier for you to remember. This is my very first Flosstube. I am 26 and have been stitching since I was 20 years old, and I love full coverage. This is going to be a WIP parade, so I have a lot of projects to show you. I have 36 in total that I have started. So I'm going to flip you guys around and just go ahead and get into it. Okay, I have created a bit of a mess here, but I think we're ready to go. I have a lot to show you. This is really thick. My first project here is Boho Bear by Cross Stitch World UA. It is about 40% done. I haven't worked on it in a while. I'm starting classes soon, and the class that I have to travel to, I'll have probably about 20-30 minutes before the class starts when I get to campus. So I will probably work on this before class starts, just to try and make more progress. Most of this I did in 2020 and 2021. A lot of my starts are from 2019, 2020. There are a couple of 2021. Mostly 2019 and 2020. I had a really big finish in the middle of 2020, no, at the end of 2020, so I didn't do a ton of stitching in 2021, so this year I'm going to try and remedy that, but we'll see. So, Boho Bear, Cross Stitch World UA. The next one is a artiste kit from Hobby Lobby called Dapper Dog. Again, kind of an abysmal start. I only have a bit of the top left corner done. This is going to eventually be a present for my dad because the dog on the design is a miniature schnauzer, and he has one named Cash, and he loves him. So, my third one is A Gentleman's Daughter by Plum Street Samplers. Top right corner start. I typically, any starts that I've done within the past year and a half, 2 years, have been top right, because I've discovered that's how I like stitching the best, how I like starting. So you can see I just have the top right started, and most of the roof outline, I have string here, so I'm gonna finish doing that, going up and down, finishing the roof in. I'm doing this in the DMC conversion because, I mean, I like variegated, I just don't see a ton of use to it sometimes. I can understand it on blocky areas like this, and I had considered it, but I wasn't really used to using variegated when I had kitted this up, so I didn't feel comfortable spending the money on something I wasn't sure I was going to like. The next WIP is the Halloween 2020 Sal from Stitchonomy, and you can see I got 4 days done. This isn't even technically done. I still have to back stitch the bowstring here. This is supposed to be a candelabra. And I wish the color of this fabric would show up. It's more purpley in person. It's showing up more gray. But it's called a Da Vinci by Pictures Plus. It's an 18 count, and I severely underestimated the size of it. This is my currently biggest piece. You can see how big the fabric is. It is supersized Max Color Tatu Goto from Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Haruo Morita. And I only have, again, top right corner start. It's about 1,100 stitches. Not much done. And this fabric looks very orange on video, but it's more like a peachy color in person. Like really pinky peach. Okay, I have to move my notebook. Alright. This is Watering Can Cats from Designworks, and I'm sorry none of my pieces are ironed. I have an iron. I just don't care to use it until after the project's done, especially for things like this that are gridded, like printed on. I've heard that it will not come out very easily if you iron it before you wash it. So I just don't bother. Also, I'm really lazy, and it doesn't bother me, especially because I almost always stitch in a Q-snap. So any of these wrinkles basically don't exist by the time it gets into a Q-snap. And the main reason it's wrinkles is because I fold my projects. So Watering Can Cats by Designworks. This is a really small project. It would take me probably 2 weeks to finish it. if I actually sat down and finished it, but I have a mistake somewhere in here that I didn't catch until like after I'd stitched all of this area. So I'm torn between tearing it out and fixing it and hoping I have enough kit floss in the end, or just fudging it and moving on. I've considered just, there's like a cat up here and a cat right here that I've considered stitching and just fudging around the cats, since those are the most important part. Okay, this is Lovely Cats from Joy Sunday. I got this for Christmas in 2020 from my boyfriend's family. You can see I made a teeny tiny storage up here. It is a stamped cross stitch. I only own about 3 of these. And I was at his family's house during Christmas when I was gifted this. I didn't have any other cross stitch with me, so I just decided to start it. And you can see my needle still stuck in there. I'm pretty sure there's a piece of thread on the back. Yep. So, I don't know. I like the design. It's really cute. There's just other projects I want to get to, especially the full coverage ones. Mainly because they have a little work that needs done. And my cat's coming over here to join me because she hears me talking. Okay, this is Snow Days from Dimensions. The artist is Shane Dimmick, I believe. Yes, Shane Dimmick. I'm so sorry. I had a cat. I had a cat attack. But this is artist Shane Dimmick. Kit from Dimensions. It is Snow Days. It is very cute. It's a wolf. It will be for one of my friends who loves wolves. It's her spirit animal. So one day I will get this to her, but we'll see. This is another kit. It is from Riolis. It is called Feline Family. I was starting this for Stitch Mania in 2019. Yes, 2019. Look how tiny that start is. So I was in a hurry to start it because I had just started a new job, so I was still getting the hang of it, and so I was coming home late and starting late on my stitching, so I just really quickly started the grid and penciled up there. So I'm not sure if that's going to come out. I will try. I've tried eraser, I've tried everything. I'll try again later whenever it comes closer to needing actually cleaned, so we'll see. Again, not all that done. It's not really for anybody. I just thought the kit was cute and I wanted to try a realist kit. Okay, next up we have Crystal Witch. It is a Gecko Rouge kit and the artist is Medusa Dollmaker. I love her artwork. Honestly, it is beautiful. This will look even better when it's stitched up more. I've seen her face completed and it looks fantastic. Mainly I just have a tons of shades of like orangey pinky browns in here right now. That's her face, that's the start of her hair, that's her witch hat. And she has some crystals as part of her braid. She'll hold some crystals right here. She looks gorgeous. Well, she will. Anyway. Okay. Next up is another Gecko Rouge kit and another Medusa Dollmaker artwork. It is Pride and Prejudice. I love this story. Honestly, I read it at least once a year. Typically 3 times a year. And I'll also read variations of it too, like Mr. Darcy's Diary. So of course I had to get this project. It is pretty confetti heavy in the area that I started in, so I haven't worked on it a bunch. And it's mostly just this one color that I've been stitching across the project. There's a little bit of this dark brown in here too. So I will hopefully pull this back out sometime this year, because I don't think I really worked on it at all last year. If I did, it was a very little. Alright, there's a bunch of Gecko Rouge in here. I love their projects, I love their designs, I love the way they chart things. This is called Fairies by Anna Marine. Again, really tiny start. There's maybe 400 or 500 stitches in there on the whole thing. And believe it or not, there are 2 colors. You can see it a little better up close. I just haven't, it hasn't called to me a bunch, I guess, so I just don't work on it unless there's like a challenge that I'm doing specifically for it. I'm mainly in full coverage fanatics though, so I don't pull it out a lot because I typically use it on other projects that I'm stitching right now. But I'll get back to it. This is Otoño by Satsuma Street. It is 28 count 1/1, so it's super tiny, and I love it. And I'm using all the called for threads, so even the variegated. I just have mostly this first square stitched, and then this other square started. I think I started it for a challenge, but then didn't pick it back up, which is sad because it's really small. And it would take me no time at all to stitch if I actually just sat down and worked on it for like 2 weeks. So I'll get back to it. It's just when is the question. I have a lot of full coverage planned out for the year already. So things like this will probably have to be like for travel, since they're tiny and they'll be easy to work on. Alright, next I have Northern Lights by Stitchonomy. This was supposed to be a present to my sister, my older sister, for her son when he was born. He is now 3. I've gotten this to work in Pattern Keeper now though, so all of this will be so much easier to stitch. So I'm going to plan to work on this more this year and try and get it to him by his 4th birthday. We'll see though. Also, I'm really sorry for the gravelly voice. I have cat allergies and live with 2 cats, and also I had a sinus infection earlier this month, so I'm kind of just still recovering from that. This looks blank. I promise it's not. There's a teeny tiny start in the corner. This is Bear of Peace from Heaven and Earth Designs by artist Christy Grandjean. And again, I'm a top right corner starter, and as you can see from over here somewhere, there's a lot of bright whites and pale colors in the top right corner, actually across the whole top of the project. So I'm gonna try and get most of this white out of the way, and then come down into darker colors down here somewhere. Not until later this year. I have plans to work on it, just won't happen for a while. Another small start. That's a common theme for me. This is Sunny from Gecko Rouge. Artist is Lilani Joy, and honestly, you wouldn't know it because of the progress I have done in it, but I do love this piece. She's stunning. All those bright, warm oranges are just amazing. I love it. It's great. I have plans to work on it as well. You can see I left a string here I need to put in. But it's beautiful. I just need to make time for it, like everything else. Alright. This is Dear Girl with Coffee from Hue Patterns by Maria. That needle minder is from Melee Missy Stitchery on Etsy. I only got to work on her a bit last year. Mainly I put most of this white from like this cutoff down in here. I do need to work on her though. This fabric is more of a darky cocoa color, but it's not too terribly inaccurate. Yeah, I love the pattern. I'm not looking forward to all the back stitching and the French knots, but I love the pattern. So this will probably be my next travel stitch that I work on after I finish Boho Bear. We'll see though. Alright, this is one of my current focuses for the year. It is a series from Gecko Rouge by Scandy Girl. The series is called Into the Darkness, and its subtitle is Bear, because it's a bear, clearly. I'm stitching this extreme cross country, so I'm doing all the black first. This is the first 4 pages, and then one of these pages is done over here. And then this is mostly another page done. There's only 16 pages on this, so it'll be super easy. It'll cut off probably about right here. No, probably about right here, actually. But I love this piece. I have seen it finished, and it is stunning. I've been keeping track with it, and if I keep pace with my stitching on it, I will have it done by the end of this year. So, that's exciting. That'll be a big full coverage done. And I'm excited for that. Alright, this is another Gecko Rouge and another focus piece of mine right now. It is called Gamer Nouveau by Medusa Dollmaker. I own a ton of her kits, and most of them are started, to be honest. But she is gorgeous. The detail on her is fantastic. I mean, her face isn't even done yet, and look how amazing it looks. I'll get to it. I'll finish the rest of it. I like to work in a 11 by 11 Q-snap or an 11 by 17 Q-snap. So this is basically the area of an 11 by 11 Q-snap. So I just worked it until it was done. And then I moved over here. This also fits in 11 by 11. So I'll finish all of this area before moving down and then back across. But she's fantastic. I started her for Stitch Mania in 2019. And if all goes well, if I follow my stitching plans, she will be done by her 4th birthday. She hits her 3rd this, well, yeah, 3rd this year, 4th next year. So May 1st of 2022, she'll be 3 years old. Hopefully, I'll be down in here by the time it happens, but we'll see. She's gorgeous. She's my main focus right now. Okay, I'm going to pull up some Q-snaps because I realize I haven't been showing you that. This is Dinosaur Forest by Owl Forest Embroidery. I have a very small start, but this is from one of my friends that I actually got into cross-stitching, and she loves dinosaurs. So, one of these days, I'll have it done. It's a pretty big pattern, but it's in a 6x6 Q-snap right now. I'm just focusing basically on a motif area at a time and then moving along. If you've seen an Owl Forest Embroidery, you know that they break up their patterns. They have like one giant pattern and then like tiny motif sections that you can cut out and sort of, typically I'll have it like pinned up here or whatever while I'm working on it. But have most of one dinosaur done and then the second of another dinosaur started. This still needs like a head crest up here. And I have this thread part for, I think, a tree that's nearby that was using the same color as this. So since I'm using the kit floss and the kit fabric from the company, which are beautiful. Like, look at that variegation. That looks amazing. Because this is variegated, I didn't want to cut it off randomly, so I just linked it over there. This is the start of another one of these stripes. I just haven't done yet. Okay. Let me make sure, yeah. I need to show you another Gecko Rouge. This is Princess Zelda from Candace Mckay. She was my New Year New Start this year. And she has about 2,300 stitches on her now. I think 23 or 2,200. I don't remember. But I've done, I like to do this method where if I have big chunks of color, like all of this is I'm guessing 939. Gecko Rouge doesn't give you colors to protect the patterns, basically, which I'm okay with, especially because if I run out, I know I can just contact them, or if I'm really desperate, I have a DMC thread card that I can compare to. But I think this is 939 because if you zoom in, it doesn't look totally black, especially under like a bright light. And this is the start of some of her hair. This is the background. This is one of the flowers. So I'm mostly taking turns recently of filling in a strand of a chunk of this, picking the color, and then stitching away. I think her face will be about right here. I don't remember, but I'm excited. She will be beautiful. I got her as a Christmas present for my sisters this year, and I was so excited to start her when I got home, but then I realized my tablet with Pattern Keeper was still at my sister's house. So I couldn't start her for a couple of days, but that's okay because I made her my New Year New Start, and I'm so excited for that. All right. Okay, I have 2 more Q-snaps. Anything that fit in the Q-snap and you can see the whole design of, I didn't take out of the Q-snap. Oh, you caught a hint of the real color there right as I picked it up, but this looks way more gray on, this is upside down also. It looks way more gray on video than it does in person. In person it is like a really rich blue and it's beautiful. The fabric is hand dyed and is from XJU Designs on Etsy. It is Sea Storm 36 count linen. This is Tronger Moon Goddess. She is from Pen Stitch Art and Technology. She is out of print. I found her on a Facebook group actually, and I was so obsessed with her when I first started her that I did 2,000 stitches in one day, and the most I'd ever done before that was 900 maybe, and I was doing it all day. She's amazing. I really need to get back to her. I really want to get back to her. I just haven't made the time, I guess. I've been goofing off a lot. I also draw, and so I spend a lot of my time doing that right now as well. And I also, of course, play video games, so I just need to make time for her. I need to just give her like 30 minutes a day, and she'll get so much more progress because the stitches up really fast. It's 36 count over 2, so 18 count technically. I just think she looks amazing. The coverage is great. This fabric is amazing. I got another piece of this. I specifically requested this because I wanted it in the size to fit the fabric. And I have another piece of this because I have another pattern from this company that would also look amazing on this fabric that I want to start. But she was more important to me. So, and it is technically only a paper pattern, but I digitized it so I could put it in Pattern Keeper. I won't share that because A, copyright laws, but B, it just doesn't feel right. But I do have it in Pattern Keeper because I transcribed the paper pattern into a PDF, basically. Alright, one more to show you right now. And this is Geisha from Heaven and Earth Designs. She is my most worked on Hade. I do really like the Hade designs. I always end up going to Gecko Rouge every time. Every time I go, I want to stitch, or I want to do a full coverage piece, it is always Gecko Rouge. And I think that's just testimony to how fantastic their kits are and their designs. But I do really like this. Also, this flower is kind of a mess of confetti. It'll look great when it's stitched. I just don't want to stitch it. I don't mind fill-in. It's kind of therapeutic. So again, I outlined the big chunks of black that I have to do in her hair. And I've been mostly avoiding her face because I want to do her face all in one go. So I'll have to move this Q-snap to do that because to comfortably stitch it, basically. So I'll stitch everything up to this line. I do feathering a bit, but I will trail down like here. So I'll do everything down to here. From up here, I've been trying to force myself to work on background, but she's right here, so I want to work on her too. So what I've been doing is a strand of fill-in and then a strand of background, just to sort of keep the momentum going. And if I get really bored of both, then I'll pick a color inside of a flower and stitch that, and that typically keeps me working on it. And I do have plans to work on her more this year. In Full Coverage Fanatics, there is a World Wonders challenge going right now, and so it's doing 5,000 stitches for each wonder. And so I basically taken 20 projects. Yes, I have 20 full coverage projects either started or planning to start specifically for this challenge. And it's do 5,000 stitches in each, so that's 100,000 stitches in total. I don't have any overlapping with my other challenges, so she is one of the ones I have slotted. I think she is 3rd or 4th in line, but the next one I'm about to show you is 2nd. Zelda is Princess Zelda from Candace Mckay. It's my current one that I'm working on. You can see I have a mess over here. So finally, this is a pattern from a game called RuneScape. It is the 2007 version of it, and it is the skill set. This is a pattern that I converted myself, and it is for my boyfriend. So these are things like health points, range, prayer, and magic. And there are 99 skill points. You have, well, it takes a really long time. By the time you reach 93, I think you have half of the total amount of experience you need to get to 99. It's kind of insane. It takes a lot of grinding and a lot of patience. And so my boyfriend, for every 99 that he reaches on a character, I will stitch it. So I have a few more over here to stitch. I only have one more line to do, I think. I have a couple threads parked there because I didn't want to cut them off. I don't typically do parking, but on occasions like this I will, just to save myself some sanity later on. I only have one more column to stitch, I think, to add on to, and I have, I think, 1, 2, 3 more skills to do, and then down here is just the total skills So it'll say total skill points, and then it'll say, like 2,000 something points or whatever, because that's what it adds up to. So I'll probably stitch that before I get to everything else, because it's mostly black, and that'll get a little boring to stitch, I think. It's fine if I'm doing shapes and then filling those in, but if I'm just doing a rectangle, it will get boring. It's 18 count 2/2. It's actually my preferred, but most of the full coverages I do are huge, so I do most of my full coverage either on 25 count or 28 count 1/1. But yeah, 18 count 2/1's my favorite. And this is mostly bunched up because I just took it out of the Q-snap, because you can see where you can only see like this little area where I was working. You can see the rest of it, so I took it out. Alright, so the next two are actually in Q-snaps. This is Black Cat from Gucker Rouge, Lorna Lane. Like I said, I have a ton of Gecko Rouge that I work on. Again, I left in a Q-snap because you can see where I'm working. That's not attached. That's good. Sort of. I've mostly got almost all of the outlines done. There's some down here that I can reach comfortably, so I just decided to wait till I move the Q-snap, because this is going to come down further, which you'll see on the preview image. So I've been basically doing recently is picking a color from the top and then stitching down as far as I can with that color until my thread runs out, and then I'll pick another color, and just keep doing that. And eventually I will get to all this fill-in. There's little white dots in here that look like the stars and the whiskers and stuff, so it's just all fill-in. And again, that fill-in's not black. It's like, you can tell, like this outline right here, it's like really dark navy. All that fill-in is the really dark navy. So she's actually a really small project. She's only like 11,000 stitches. I have about a third of that done. So it's really just mostly fill-in and getting all of this funfetti stuff on the side done. Okay. I have created a mess everywhere. Okay, this is the last project I have in Q-snap. This is The Princess Bride, also from Gecko Rouge, also Medusa Dollmaker. The Princess Bride is my favorite movie. I love it. I love all the characters. I love all of the quotes, and the fight scenes are just fantastic. And I don't know. I really took a liking to it as a kid, and it kind of carried over with me growing up. And I've just continued to love it ever since. And you wouldn't be able to tell because of how little progress I have on this project. It's beautiful. I do love it. I have seen their faces and everything stitched. This isn't technically full coverage. There's a big gap around the corners. I wasn't confident in counting that gap, so I started in the middle. I also hand dyed this fabric. It was 25 count. I think it's probably like a 26 or 27 count now because it shrunk. 1/1, stitching like most of my big full coverage, even though this technically isn't full coverage. But once I finish Bear in the Darkness this year, if that happens, I need to pick a new second focus, since Gamer Nouveau won't be done until mid-2023. So I might replace Gamer Nouveau with this. I don't know yet. I'm still debating. I'll talk about it later, though. Alright. We'll move this. Move right along. This is another Gucker Rouge. I have many of them started. Not a lot of progress on most of them. As you can see, it's mostly blank. I have a teeny tiny start here. In dark blue. It is TARDIS from Ginny Parks. Took me a long time to get into Doctor Who, but once I did, I fell in love. It's fantastic. I love the characters. I love the quirkiness of the show. I love the storylines. It's great. I have a good time with it. But I don't know from how small a start it is. A lot of these really small starts are because I participate in things like Stitchmania, where it's started a bunch of stuff, but then I don't get back to working on it. And this one's an even sadder start. That's it. That's my whole start. It is Pretty Little Dublin from Satsuma Street. It is a middle start. it will eventually be a present for my sister because her and her husband went to Dublin for their honeymoon when they got married in 2014, I think. So one of these days it'll be a gift for them. This was in one of my classes. We had to do a demonstration of some kind, so I chose how to start a cross stitch. And so I did 4 tiny stitches for it. It is 36 count, 2 over 2. I have a cat who's going to cause trouble, I think. This is Mochi. She is about 8 months old. She's a brat. She likes to try and eat my cross stitch. Her sister does not, but Mochi does. I'm gonna have to stop this and get her out of here. Okay, I'm back. I have relieved Mochi of her fabric hoarding duties. This is another start, not for a challenge, I just wanted to start it. It is Hal and Sophie from Gecko Rouge. The artist is Dalen Ogden. Again, most of that's not even black. It's like a dark navy. There is a bit of black right there. It's hard to tell on the camera though. Huge project. It's massive. This is on 28 count, 1 over 1. And it will be giant. And I have such a tiny start on it. But I'll get back to it eventually. I really want to. I need to. It's in the plans for this year. There's just been other things that I wanted to focus on. And again, I didn't do a ton of stitching in 2021. I had finishitis. I finished my oldest and biggest full coverage, not biggest, my oldest full coverage project is my first full coverage project too, at the end of 2020, and so 2021 was sort of my relaxation here. This was for a challenge. This was, again, Stitchmania 2021. This is Sacred Heart from Anita Embroidery from Gecko Rouge. Again, teeny tiny start. This is, you can see on the needle minder here, started the wing. And again, I was doing my classic outline and then fill method. In fact, I think there's still, yep, there's still a strand on the back of this. That's how little I stitched on it. Might be 100 stitches, maybe. I don't think I have plans to work on this at all this year, to be honest. It's a beautiful design. It's really pretty. Alright, sorry about that. My sister called me. She's bringing lunch, so I'm gonna get through these last 6 projects as quick as I can. Beautiful design. No plans to work on it this year, but maybe. We'll see. Alright, this is another Heaven and Earth Designs. Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Lady by Kathy Delancey. I started this in May of 2019 for Stitchmania. Honestly, I might have done a single strand in it in the past 2 years, to be honest. It's very little. I do have more plans to work on this. So basically anything I say, oh, I have plans to work on it, it's because it's slotted for one of the 20 World Wonders for full coverage fanatics. So it means it'll get at least 5,000 stitches this year. Maybe more, we will see. But very likely I'll focus on another project that I want to finish on closer. Yeah, background. This is 2019 when I didn't realize I liked starting in the top right. So it's a top left start, which is fine. This is another Kathy Delancey, another Heaven and Earth Designs. It is Little Red Dress, a minuscule start, and funnily enough, this is the design that I was the most in love with, and the reason I even bought a bunch of Kathy Delanceys, but it has the least amount of work. I just really liked working on Geisha the most, with the colors. The greens were really pretty. I really liked how close she was to the outline of my background that I had started, so I went ahead and got started on her. Also, since there are 3 of these really pretty dark-haired ladies I'm working on, it's going to be one for me, one for my sister, and one for my twin sister. So I started working on Geisha the most because she's the one for my twin sister, and I don't keep a lot of the finishes that I do. Most of the finishes I have been gifts, so I've been giving them away. And my older sister has a vast majority of those finishes. I just always end up finding like small things that I know she'd love, so I work on them and then I give them to her. And so Geisha this one, is going to be for my twin sister. And I let them pick out which ones they wanted. I loved all of them, so I did not mind which one I got. I let them pick out their favorite. And then, so I'm going to work on that one, try and get it done for them. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm taking out the background myself. There is a version of it without the background, but I didn't buy that. This is 28 count Mushroom Lagana. It is Be Mine Always from Adele Lorien. This is the start of the woman's hair. It comes down into like a braid here. There's gonna be some stuff up here, but most of it is background. And I'm not gonna stitch background. Well, I'm gonna stitch some of the background, but there's like these long chunks along the side of literally just a single color. And that seemed tedious, especially if I was picking a fabric that was close to the color of the background anyway. So I decided to just cut that out and stitch this. Stitch the people and the other stuff that's actually stuff in the background. But I don't have it done started. I do have plans to work on it this year though. So, alright. I think these last three are all Gecko Rouge. Yes, so this is Bohemia from Gecko Rouge. Artwork by Medusa Dollmaker. Top right corner, again, I have a thread hanging here. I'm doing, going around outlining the little stars in the background. That's a page break. Typically, I don't focus on page breaks, like as you saw on Gamer, where I just had stuff going around willy-nilly along the edges. But for big chunks of fill-in like this, I will feather the page break, just to sort of keep it from being too stiff of a line, because typically I'll just trail down in all bunch of random directions with random colors. I don't have a ton of this done. I want to work on it more. I do have plans to work on it more, but it's not my focus right now. It probably won't be my focus until at least 2023. I don't know. I'll see how I feel about that. But beautiful piece. Also another big one. 28 count, I believe, 1/1. Yeah. It is gorgeous. I'm just focusing on another Medusa Dollmaker this year, so I didn't feel the need to focus on this one. So I picked other projects from other creators, other artists. Another Gecko Rouge. I absolutely love this piece. It is fantastically beautiful and oh so colorful. This was actually a restart in 2020 because I had originally started it over here. And if I have a picture, I'll show here what my original start looked like. I had a decent amount of her face, like 3,000 stitches of her face stitched. And then I realized I goofed. I goofed. It was off by like 1 or 2 stitches. And so her whole face was off. And I could have fudged it. I could have made it work. But I didn't want to. That felt like accepting defeat. So I tried to unpick out all the stitches that I messed up. But it was white on white and like 3,000 stitches of it. And it was just so hard. Like I couldn't even tell if I was clipping fabric or thread at some point. And so I was like, you know what? No, it's not worth it. I have this piece of, it's technically like a really soft purple, like a really soft purple. It's a fabric that I hand dyed, and it was a mishap. It wasn't supposed to look like this color. So I just put it aside. I said, I'll find something to use it for. And then lo and behold, it became my restart for Almathea. Yeah, so Almathea, Gecko Rouge, artist Lolani Joy. I got this little narwhal done. It's so cute. It has a lot of confetti, like right here especially. That was intense. But most of this from like here down, I'm wearing Hello Kitty pajamas, please ignore them, to about right here, I think is where the end is. A ton of blue fill-in. So I've been going through, I'll do like a strand of blue fill-in, and then I'll pick a color at the top within my Q-snap. You can kind of see those little stitches right there where I trail across. I pick a color at the top, I go down, and then I'll do a color of fill-in, and then I'll just rinse and repeat. It's been a pretty good method. I did focus a lot on the narwhal because I wanted it done. I wanted to see it. I needed to see something completed, especially to give me the motivation to work on this more. And to be honest, after I finish my bear piece, Into the Darkness Bear from Scandy Girl. This will probably be my next focus, because I love her. I want to finish her, and I need to finish her. I want to get back to over here and filling all this stuff I had to get rid of, because I goofed. So to say I'm being extra careful with her now is an understatement. But yeah, that's part of her sleeve, her shoulder, jawline. It's start of her horn. You can see it right there. Start of her horn. So I'm tempted to start finding areas to color complete, but I like my method of, I do this a lot on projects, of doing a fill-in color, because almost all my projects have some sort of fill-in color. So I'll do a strand with a fill-in color and then a strand of random color up here. I like that method. It seems to work for me. It keeps me interested. It keeps me invested. All that fun stuff. This is technically not a thread I was working on. My Q-snap, where I had it sitting. This was one of the colors I think I was stitching in the narwhal. I didn't feel like most of the stitches that connected to this were like way up here. I was using like a 6x6 Q-snap, and I was like, I had like 3 or 4 more stitches of it over here, and I was like, I don't feel like cutting this off when there's more of it out this way that I'm gonna have to do anyway. So I just parked it. So I'll pick that back up later when I get into that area. But for now, it will sit there. Alright, okay. Well, last project. We did it. The last one is another Gecko Rouge and another Medusa doll maker. It is Herb Witch. She is a companion piece to Crystal Witch. I started her in the top right corner, which is my preference. And the reason I started Crystal Witch in the middle is because, 1, I really wanted to see a pretty lady's face. And 2, because Herb Witch and Crystal Witch look really similar in the corners. They're basically the same thing in the corners with like different colors and stuff. And I didn't want to stitch the same thing, so immediately after stitching this. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start Crystal Witch in the middle so I can see her face, and I'll work on the background of Herb Witch. And I don't think I did a ton of work on this last year, to be honest. I do love it. The design is beautiful. I have seen up to her face around here stitched. She looks gorgeous. I don't know. I was focused on other things, and whenever I felt like stitching, she never really called to me. I do love her. I will stitch on her more. She is a part of the World Wonders this year. But I don't know. She just didn't call to me last year, and I'm guessing it's because of all this confetti so quickly. That's like 2 or 3 colors in there. This is like another 2 or 3 colors, and there's more colors to go in there. But when I started her, I didn't have quite a handle on confetti. I didn't have a method to handle it. So I think that's one of the things that sort of put me off to it. But now I have that method. So now I can use it, and I can stitch on her more with more fun. I can have fun with her now. And I feel that way about Sunny from Lilani Joy. I feel that way about that one too. It was just a ton of confetti. I didn't know how to handle it. I really just wanted to skip over to like the middle where her face was. But I knew if I did that, it would take me even longer to do the background. So now that I have a method of how to tackle that better, I'll have more fun with it. I'll be able to do it. Alright, that was my last one. I have made a mess in here, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna clean up, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.